Hi, this is Katie, the president and founder of Certum Solutions here in North Carolina, and I'm coming to you today to talk about something we've all heard of. I'm sure, unless you've been under a rock, you've heard of ChatGPT. And in true Katie form, I've been calling it ChatGDP, but there you go, it's ChatGPT. I will post a link to it as well as our blog post and my thoughts on the subject in the description of this video. Before we get started, if you could do me a favor, you know what I'm going to say. If you like the kind of content that we have here on the Certum Solutions channel, subscribe to the channel. If you like hearing about new tech trends, what my input is on them, do me a favor and just like this video as well. That is your way of voting on what we talk about next. So, I had so many questions for people about this new technology, which they've been working on it for a while, but and it's a fascinating subject. AI, we've been talking about AI for years, artificial intelligence, and being able to see these different tools that are bubbling up everywhere. You've got like Otter.ai, you've got all these different AI tools that are popping up. I mean, it's exciting, right? And I hate to sound like a contrarian, but I hope I sound like a contrarian in a positive way because, I have friends that are writers. I make my own content. I have friends that are editors. And, things like this, it goes, well, gosh, are the people need us anymore? Yes, 100% they do. I have heard of ChatGPT creating things like real estate listings, creating essays, technical copy. The article that I referred to in the accompanying blog post was actually partially written by ChatGPT, but it was not 100% written. As humans still looked at it, and we still look at our stuff. And I'll give you a perfect example, okay? And before I get started any further, I think this is definitely an opportunity to show off a t-shirt a friend gave to me a while back. This is my No Shenanigans t-shirt. So for those of you that are in a panic wondering, is ChatGPT going to make us redundant? No, it is not, at least not yet. Okay, the whole point of artificial intelligence is that eventually it's sentient or it can think on its own. What you're dealing with here is a massive, massive library of terminology and scrubbed data and harvested data that this program has been trained to do through natural language processing to turn into a readable format that hopefully is enjoyable to read. That being said, actually a QuickBooks competitor the other day on LinkedIn, in the furor of all this activity goes, we wrote an article on the differences between our product and QuickBooks by ChatGPT. Check it out. This is how we're better. And obviously, I'm like very curious and I go, okay, well, let's check this out. So I go look through it. I found at least 5 factual inaccuracies. And from looking at what it came up with, what I believe happened is it did not separate QuickBooks Online from QuickBooks Desktop. It did not acknowledge different tiers of the software either. So the features it was saying were not available. They're not in QuickBooks Online, or at least some of them aren't. Some of them are available at higher tiers. They are available in QuickBooks Enterprise, which we also work with. So it's kind of tongue-in-cheek funny to go, okay, I see you. I am happy to know that we are still needed. And we will be for at least the foreseeable future. Does ChatGPT make our lives easier? Yes. Can it be used for bad as well as good? 100%. I have a lot of contacts in the educational field, and they are very worried about students using this tool to create essays. Now, what I have in my head is that's more a reflection of the student and their ethics than it is of the tool itself. Tools are tools. It's the person using them, using it for good or bad, and that's exactly what you're dealing with here. It is kind of heartening to know that they're going to come up with a watermark. They're working on an idea for some sort of telltale sign that this was written by ChatGPT, and so that's cool. We're already getting ahead of that. I've also heard that they're talking about making this a paid thing. OpenAI, the company that created this, is a nonprofit, and it's, I believe, a private company. I believe it's a nonprofit. Microsoft is looking, I believe, investing in them. I think they already have invested a little bit. Obviously, with all the excitement over it, they're I've heard that they are going to possibly turn it into a paid service, which I think is great. You know, I love this technology. The field has changed so much, but we have to put on our common sense hat. Don't get shiny object syndrome. Don't go, well, this makes my job so much easier. You are human for a reason, and we are human for a reason. We have that sentient thought. We can go through things and make sure it makes sense, okay? And AI is getting close, but it's just like a limit in calculus. It's one of those things, it's there, but it's not there yet. It's coming close. Will it reach, sentiency in my lifetime? I kind of think it will, but I don't know. Until then, you're really just dealing with a random word calculator that is, again, using this natural language processing to come up with pretty words and pretty paragraphs, okay? And it's so funny because I posted this thing on LinkedIn. It wasn't incredibly popular about, y'all calm down. ChatGPT is not the new thing. I mean, it's obviously the new thing. It's very exciting. But it's not sentient. It's still making errors. We have to look at this with our common sense hat on. And right after that, you saw all these AI scientists coming out and saying, ChatGPT is not everything you think it is yet. If you're looking for an article about a tree, it'll be beautiful. If you want to coach it through how to write different articles about different topics, it's going to be wonderful. If you're looking at it to fulfill your technical writing needs or to make decisions, I would hope you wouldn't leave that up to a bot, okay? So it's also funny, actually touches on one more thing that I'll talk about before we wrap. When I was younger, I was a painter and I was very creative. I still have, I still paint on occasion, but I wouldn't call myself a full-blown painter anymore. Anyway, there were people on LinkedIn saying it's not right that these artists don't want to contribute their work to help train this artificial intelligence. And I wanted to go, what are we doing here? You give artwork to this artificial intelligence to scrub it, and they're creating derivative artworks. That is an infraction of the artist's rights. No one should be forced to contribute their work here. Okay, so I believe the ethical implications and the rest of it is going to be at play for a long time to come, and I think we're getting deeper into a really fascinating field, and it's so cool to see it coming into like real life, so to speak. But again, I kind of look at it and, I've been around for a minute and I'm going, okay, so it is super exciting. I love it. It's super exciting. Speaking of which, the page has been down pretty constantly, at least during the workday. You might be able to get into it at night or in the morning. So that just speaks to popularity. It is extremely exciting, but like with anything, let's remember while we're here, we are here to do things we're passionate about, to use tools to express ourselves. We are at no risk of being replaced by AI, at least in the very short term. Now, will writers one day be the tech equivalent or the writing equivalent of a switchboard operator? Possibly. I don't know the future. I would say that I believe some of the stuff that makes us special as humans cannot be replicated by a machine, and I don't believe it ever will be. And that's what makes us humans. So that is my spiel on it. I know this is a subject I don't talk about a whole lot, but we've all been just such a buzz over it. I thought, you know what, I should say a few words about this. So I hope that you found this helpful. If you have questions about the technology, leave your comment below. If you want to check out the ChatGPT /human written article that Colin Baird wrote on Medium, I've got a link to that in our blog post, along with further thoughts on the technology. And I hope you found this video enjoyable, and I will talk to you again soon. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.